Hi, hello, hello, hi, and welcome to all our hearts and minds. Thank you again for tuning in. We're here to discuss all things that have been on our hearts and minds, the good, the bad, the concerning, and uplifting, or just straight talk. We're your hosts, Kimmy, our passionate heart,
Yeah, yeah.
and then there's me, Jeanette, your mind and chronic overthinker. Let's get into it.
Yes.
Welcome back, guys, to a new episode. We are in December, first week of December. We're recording. We're finally here. Last month of the year.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're back again. And before we jump into the episode, we just have to make sure everything's right with your girls. So
Mm-hmm.
Kim, how was your week? How have you been?
It's been okay. It's been an interesting week, but nonetheless, I made it through. And yeah, we're getting closer and closer to that time. And I look forward to it, but then I don't. I think
Mm-mm.
leading up until Christmas is so stressful.
Yeah.
Thinking about all that has to get done and finding the time to do it and also trying to enjoy it, right? So yeah, but overall, last week wasn't that bad. It I've had worse, and
Yeah.
made it through successfully. So I don't want to complain this week. How about that? I'm
Okay.
choose not to complain this week. So I'll reserve my complaints for another week.
Yeah, but you're generally,
Generally, we're all right.
besides the BS, you're okay, right?
Right? Exactly.
Okay, that's
Exactly.
good
How
to
about
hear.
you, girl? How you doing?
I had a doozy trying to upload one of our episodes
Uh
yesterday, and I
oh.
just, when you're just like, am I gonna have to? I've been trying to, I was trying to salvage, one of our episodes that we did to post it up this week, and because sometimes we have some technical difficulties, and then when
Yep.
I retrieved the file, it was not like half of it is out of sync.
Uh oh.
So I was like, so I'm still trying to shovel. I can't let it go, but I was just so frustrated. I threw my hands up. I was like, okay, I have to go back to this. Like, so kind of
Yeah.
threw me
Fresh
off.
pair of
But
eyes another time.
yeah, you guys, I'm trying. The episodes are there. I just had an issue. Just know you'll probably have a bonus episode coming soon. That's all that means. Let's
Yes.
put it that way.
Yes, and it's coming when it comes.
Yeah.
So look out for it.
But other than that, I've been okay. I've been pretty good. Yeah, the holidays is always, you try you have to kind of, I think we talked about this last time. I don't know if it was for Thanksgiving or what, but like you just have to be super intentional because the holidays is so stressful. It's the end of year for work, so everybody's trying to stress you out and all that nonsense. And
Right?
then and you have to pretend like you're you're into it when you're just like, I'm about,
Right? I don't
I
even
need a
want to be around
breather.
new people. Like I just
And then second, again, the holiday, the pressure, you have to spend a lot of money. And I mean, if you don't have it, you don't have it, but I feel like unfortunately, I think a majority of us, no matter your financial situation, there's a lot of pressure to spend a lot more than you normally do, whether you have it or not, and that can be worrisome, I'm sure, for some folks. And then it's just like coordinating, meeting people. It's like some people could do that so good. I'm like, when it's,
Mhm.
I'll have to say, in my older days, get slight social anxiety.
Yeah.
Just because, and I don't know if it was because of COVID. I don't think I always had it, but I think COVID definitely contributed to it in that when there's a lot of social things happening in a short period of time, I'm just like, ooh, I just feel uneasy. Cause
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I gotta go, I have to show up on time, I have to find an outfit, I might have to bring a gift, I might have to do this.
There's
It
a
just
lot
like
to it.
it's
It's not
just so
just
much more
yeah.
than I normally have to think about in terms of a
Yeah.
social situation, right?
Yeah, it's
But
true.
generally I am okay, but I am feeling a little bit of social, just a little bit of anxiety with the holiday, but
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
too crazy, and generally feeling good. And I'm fine with the holidays, whatever. I'm not like dreading it or anything, but it's also like,
And
oh,
that's the thing is that like I'm not dreading the holiday itself, but it's the getting to it. Like it's a lot to get to it to enjoy it, right? Like even just the extra grocery shopping or the extra present shopping, or you know what I mean, or just preparing of the menus, and like you said, scheduling times to meet up with people, and
Right.
like there's so much to it. And when you get to it, when you're actually there, it's great, right? But up until that point, it's just like, Lord,
Right.
this is too much, too much. But you know what? I think overall we should be happy that we're able to celebrate and not have to have like
Yeah.
real world issues to have to deal
Right.
with right now.
hmm
But you know what? Overall, your week was okay, is
Yeah,
what
it
you're
was
saying.
good. It was
Yeah,
okay. It was good.
that's good. That's good.
So let's get into the show. Before we get into the show, though, of course, we have to acknowledge, thank you guys for tuning in and
Yes, thank
checking in
you,
with us
everyone.
and listening to the podcast. Our ask to you as you listen and enjoy us is to continue to favorite the podcast, check out, subscribe so you get updates for new episodes, rate the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever else you listen to. But it really helps if you do it on Spotify and Apple for us. And again, thank you guys for listening and tuning in.
Yes, thanks, everyone.
Alrighty, so let's jump into our headlines.
Yes.
And we are going to start with the documentary, the Diddy documentary. How could we not? It's like
Yes.
couldn't get away from it this week. It's a headline instead of a segment because, to be honest, guys, I just saw one episode. I don't think Kim's seen it yet.
No, I haven't, but I'm
Um,
going to.
yeah, I think it's worth. Once we see it, it'll be worth us having a bigger discussion.
Right.
And I think after seeing the first episode and then a combination of some of the conversations I've seen online and people what people are saying online, I think not that I think it's a based on the first episode only, very well put together documentary.
That's what
Because
I'm
there was
hearing.
one that was on
Generally, yeah.
Tubi or something, Tubi on or something, and I was just like, Tubi was just taking all these clips that we already saw from the news and stuff. So I was just like, ugh, and there wasn't much storytelling around it. But with this one, I can with just seeing one episode, I can kind of see the story they might be putting together around him and everything that's happened and who he is and like from when he was a young buck or a young man
Mm-hmm.
getting into the business to the mogul and I guess or he was now I don't know if he's still I mean a mogul's a mogul I guess but I mean he's clearly going through a downfall so I don't know if that
Yeah.
status is still there but up into the status that he was before all the shit started crumbling down so I think people thought or were hoping, but I think we quickly found out this was not going to be the what was the R. Kelly documentary called again? You remember?
Oh, Surviving Kelly, or what was
Yes,
it
yes, you
called?
said you
Yeah.
got it. Surviving
Mm-hmm.
R. Kelly. This wasn't going to be a Surviving R. Kelly because if we think back to the Surviving R. Kelly, that's the reason R. Kelly's in jail right now.
Really? That's the. Mm-hmm.
Dream
Mm-hmm.
Hampton put like it is a I have to look up if she got any awards. She must have got some awards. It is a harrowing documentary that put together a story that we all knew in bits and pieces, but when he put it together, it was completely damning.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think some people thought or probably wanted this Diddy documentary to be,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't have that. We don't have that kind of those kind of stories or testimonies. And most importantly, we don't have anything. There's still a lot of things that are very unclear, right? But anyway, it's out Netflix for 4 parts series.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to. Let me take that back. I'm not excited because of the
Mhm,
content and of who we're actually talking about here, but
mhm.
I am excited to see what how they put this together. And I know that 50 had his hand in this, and we've seen 50 work, like how his work can be,
Yeah.
aka power. Like
Yeah, it's a
let's just
popular
start there.
show. Yeah.
Right? And his abilities.
I think I wasn't yeah, sorry, finish.
So I'm excited to see what 50 is going to do, like how he's going to have his hand on. this whole documentary because he is involved. And I must say, this 50, you take the crown for petty. Okay, you take the crown for petty because you have yourself, and you take the crown for revenge because revenge is a dish best served cold. And this is cold. This is cold because, from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Diddy was the one that actually started a biography on himself.
Yes, that's where some of the
Yeah,
footage came
the
from. Yeah,
arrogance of it all. The
because
arrogance of
his
it all.
intention was, I saw that today. His intention was to use it if he was to win the case. He was going to put together some type of like.
Yeah, but let somebody do that for you, did he? You know? But no, he had his hand throughout it. And so it's funny now that that same videographer has sold whatever footage they have had, or they have, 250.
They actually sold it to Netflix. Netflix bought it,
And then
and then
50,
they
but
hired.
they appointed Pimp 50 as
Yes,
like the
exactly.
creative director or something like that.
Right, you got it.
Right. And so for me, you might as well have just handed it to 50 because 50 is the one who's going to chop it up and make it look a certain way. You understand? And I feel like it's so fascinating to see 50 don't play, man. You come for him, and trust me, he's going to make sure he wipes the floor with you. And I think that's what's happening, and I'm interested to see that dynamic because we find out through bits and pieces of this biography that did he like to go after other people's women. This
Hmm.
is like a big
That's one
thing
of the themes, I
that
would
he
say.
liked to do. And
Just
so you went after the wrong baby mother in this case. You did. We know that what's her name? Uh what is her name?
Misa Hilton
No, no,
or
no.
Sarah
50's baby
Chapman.
mother. What's her name?
Oh,
Uh,
Gina something. Is it Gina?
is it
Let me find out.
something Daphne?
Daphne.
Daphne? Yeah, I think so. So Daphne, which is 50's mother, baby mother, Puffy
Daphne
came
Joy.
for
Yeah,
her. He
it
came
was
for her
Daphne.
and he turned her out,
Hmm.
and yeah, 50 wasn't having that. And so now he's going to make money off of this man's pain. And it's like so poetic when you think about it, because you started this with your own arrogance that you were going to you already thought you weren't going to have to go to jail. Like, that's how arrogant this man is,
Hmm.
that he
Hmm.
was already planning a movie for his, I guess, victory
Hmm.
on not going to jail. And so now look, it's not, it didn't go so. And 50 is making sure that he has every part to do with it. And I think that that's the part that I really want to see what perspective 50 is going to come from with this whole documentary. I think that there's going to be a part two. There's mumbles in the streets that there might be a part two to this. Like, so
Hmm.
I don't know, but Diddy, you were so flippin' arrogant to think that you were gonna walk away scotch free. That you had already started to put together a videographer taking, like, I guess, your life and how you got through this, and it didn't work out so much for you that way. And now 50 is going to be lucrative off of your pain, which is a nice change up, because with Diddy, he likes to inflict pain. So, now he's gonna have to walk through it, like, and he's gonna have to know that 50 is right behind this. He's all throughout it, and yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun to see. And at this point, like with Diddy, I don't have any mercy for him. I'm
No,
sorry. He needs to go
no,
to his
absolutely
maker for
not.
that, because I don't got none. I don't got none for you, man. I don't have no mercy. I don't have no grace. The type of things that we find out that you were doing, and that was probably just the tip of the iceberg, because
Hmm.
those were the people that were willing to come forward. Could you imagine how many people would like, if everybody who ever had any dealings with him found out there's no way he could hurt you, there's no way you could, can you imagine how many people would have came forward? Can you imagine
Right,
how
of
many
course,
hundreds of
so many.
thousands Like for real.
It would be a lot. Let's just put it that way, based on what I'm
We'd
the
still
little
be
that
in
I'm
trial. We'd still
getting.
be
Yeah.
in the trial right now. We'd still be in the trial. But yeah, so let's see what's gonna go on with that. I want to reserve how I feel entirely for when I
Mhm.
actually watch it.
Yeah, and I think the big thing that came out of the series itself was that people are the most disgusted with, although there's many things to be disgusted with Diddy, is how he did not pay for Notorious B.I.G.'s funeral. He got this estate, his own Biggie's own estate, to pay for the funeral, or pay him back for the funeral.
Can you imagine?
So
From
none
the
of
grave,
Diddy's
this
went
man is playing for his own funeral. Can you imagine? Oh God.
right, and then you're dancing up, making a song on this man's death and claiming all these things. But anyway, you're right. There's like a whole there's so much to talk about. It's so layered, and I think we need to see it before we can have a real
Yeah,
discussion about it.
yeah. But I want to say one thing, and then
Mhm.
I'm done with this until
Yeah.
I see it. Um, what I find the really repulsive in this situation, and I always had this feeling, even as a young person back in the day when Biggie died, I knew that Puffy had something to do with it. I
Mhm.
knew it. Just the way, if you listen, if we could take a trip back in time, okay, and think about how rich this man got off of Biggie dying.
Mhm.
You
Right?
couldn't turn on a
Right?
radio, you couldn't watch the TV without hearing that song with Faith
Mhm.
Evans in it.
Mhm.
Every step into that song. And to just at the time, I was like, yo, like this guy is really like, he's really taking Biggie's death and he's making money off of this. Like I
Mhm.
even back then, I was like, wow, like are you really sad? You sure?
That literally was his claim to fame. Like, yes, he was always Diddy and Bad Boy, but he came to the forefront after that. Wait, well, he was always dancing in the videos, but you know what I
But
mean. He
that's
got.
no, but that's how this is the saddest part is that he took over Biggie's limelight. He soul swapped. He whatever they want
Mhm.
to call it nowadays.
Mhm.
He took that man's his future. He
Mhm.
did because when you think of back in the day, people used to call Puffy, okay, the guy in the back that bounce up and down. That's
Mhm.
all people used to think of him as.
Mhm.
Nobody cared. No, people were wondering why do you have that guy in the back of your video? Like, get rid of him. Like, nobody liked Puffy. Nobody
Mhm.
cared for him.
Mhm.
And then when you think back and how you literally saw him turn into a star, but it was with that one song.
Mhm. Yeah, I
That
agree.
one song, and it was like even back then I used to think he has something to do with this.
Mm.
Because how are you? I thought aren't you supposed to be like, I don't know, mourning? No, I just felt like he was going on tour with the song. Like when I tell you this man made it big off of the one song, this is where people started to turn and look. And who are you again? That's when Puffy, oh, now he started to feel himself and turned into Diddy. Okay, and all this trippiness. Yeah, but back then I knew he has something to do with Biggie dying, and I still think that to this day. And if Puffy's not careful, okay, he might expose the fact that he was involved. And I think he also had something to do with Tupac's death, but that's a
Mm.
whole nother bag of worms that I'm not going to open today. All I have to say is that Puffy, while you had this videographer, I wouldn't be surprised if they expose something with your involvement with Biggie's death. I wouldn't be surprised. So I'm going to be looking out for it because from back 20 odd something odd years ago as a young teenager, okay, I knew this man had something to do with it. And
Mm.
it took 30, almost 30 plus years, but I'm telling you, it's going to be revealed. And I feel like it's going to be revealed in this documentary. I do. I do. Somehow, some way, they're gonna reveal how Puffy, his involvement with Biggie's death, because it was too. Even back then, I was like, ah. And back then, my I was young, fun, didn't care about nothing. Okay, nothing holding me down, and I knew. So I'm interested. That's what I'm gonna be honest. When I'm looking at that documentary, I'm looking to see if there's any sort of word, any sort of clue, any sort of insight as to Biggie's death. Because when they started talking about his funeral and how he ended up paying back Puffy, like his estate ended up paying him back, like, what? I thought he was your boy. I thought he was your boy. Because that's what he made us think back then. That he was
Mhm.
so sad because his boy died and ba 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 ba. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave it right there. But I'm telling you what I'm looking at. What I'm looking for when I look at that damn documentary, I'm looking to see if there's any insight as to Biggie's death. Because I feel
Mm.
like there is. And it's gonna get leaked. So everybody out there, whoever's gonna watch Diddy's documentary, keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. That's all I gotta tell you. Yep.
Okay. So next thing is I don't know if we talked about this but Brandy and Monica kicked off their Boys Mind tour earlier in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
And they've
Yeah.
been getting rave reviews going around the United States. And in one of their shows, because Kelly's actually I'm missing a point. One of the openers is Kelly Rowland. Another opener is Sierra. Another opener is Money Long. I think Money Long just recently dropped out because she's having illness, facing some illness issues. Um,
I'm so
but
surprised that those are her headliners. Like that is
I mean, for the boys' mind headliners is Kelly Rowland and
yeah.
Sierra. Why?
Only because I don't know. Maybe my idea of like I don't know, a headliner or
No, they're the
opening
headline opening act. Yeah.
opening
Hmm.
act.
Hmm.
I don't know. I always kind of perceive that for people who are not like I don't know, not deep into or just beginning in the music industry. Like they're not
I think
popular or not.
some people have different strategies. I think you're right. There are some. It's such a political thing, and it depends on the main artist. There's some just like in comedy. There's some artists who don't want a opening act that outshines them, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's what
There's
I'm
some,
accustomed to.
but then there's some art. So they're usually going to get somebody new, just breaking it in the
Right,
scene, has
right.
a smaller audience, which is
But still
traditional.
has a buzz. Like they still
Yeah,
have
but
a
they still
buzz
have
to
a
them.
buzz,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
that is the traditional standard. But there are some artists where there's a lot of camaraderie. They all like these all these artists kind of come from the same generation outside of Money Long. I would say Money Long is the true opening act that you would expect for them.
Right. Yeah.
But I've seen other people do what's his name, J Cole opened for no somebody who opened for J Cole. It's been so long now. I can't remember now. There was somebody who opened for J. Cole who was like they would have been almost on par to me. But
Yeah.
generally some artists pretty much will open up with they'll have a friend open with them. Like they have a good relationship, they're not
That's
threatened.
true.
They just it
Yeah.
makes sense. It just makes thematically it makes sense, which I do think thematically the opening act makes sense because they're all kind of coming from the same era, mid 2000s, early to mid 2000s, 2010s, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I just when I
Um
think Kelly Rowland, I was like, Irks. Okay.
yeah,
Like I'm not gonna say that one is I guess I don't know. Because when I think of Brandy and Monica, like I would think Kelly Rowland would have been watching Brandy and Monica.
mm,
Do you know that? I don't know. Anywho, I'm just thinking when I think Kelly Rowland, I don't think of her as like an open act. Like I just don't.
mm,
I don't
yeah.
know. But I
But
can see what you're saying. I can
but
see.
I think it makes. it's a fit for me. It feels like a good fit. So so yeah, so those were the opening acts, and so what, and so a lot of people were talking about. I believe it was when they were in LA,
Yep.
and Beyonce went to go support Kelly, and there was lots of photos of Beyonce there. Beyonce wearing her backstage pass with Kelly's name on it, and just supporting her girl in the tour. And so it was a great moment. Then I think there was another. Then Ray J now popped up a week
Oh,
later,
oh,
saying
Ray J's a hot
he
mess.
he
Just-
pretty much reignited an old feud that I didn't even acknowledge or even remember. Like, it's never been in my mind. It's like when I kind of did my research, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So there's supposedly a feud between Beyonce and Brandy, and that's Kelly plays a role. So I want to bring that up again. It's an old feud, and Ray J reignited it by calling out Beyonce and Jay Z for not showing Brandy love on her tour. So again, I told you there's plenty of photos of Beyonce with Kelly um, on the tour. There are no photos with Beyonce with either Brandy or Monica, I believe. So, um,
and hot ass Ray J had to be the one to
right? And so
like.
the alleged rumor stems for two things. One is there was rumors from the early 2000s that there was tension between Brandy, because she was between Brandy and Beyonce, because Brandy and Kelly are close. So again,
Yeah.
that's another. So Brandy and Kelly are close, and allegedly Brandy was encouraging Kelly to get out of Beyonce's shadow, because remember when that's around the early 2000s, that's kind of around the time where
Hmm.
they started doing their own thing, each of the girls from Destiny's Child.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that could have brought some tension between, that likely caused some tension between Brandy and Beyonce. And Brandy's denial, currently she's released a statement after Ray J's rant claiming that her Instagram was hacked, and the anti Beyonce comments did not come from her. So there's some type of shady post supposedly. I didn't see it. I didn't see it myself, but we all
Mm-mm.
heard a Ray J. So Ray J clearly and obviously started something, because Brandy's quiet. I think me and you were talking about it. Brandy doesn't really say much. She's kind of antisocial.
Yeah.
This is just something that we speculate, which is probably true, because Brandy's always had kind of like a icy reception of Beyonce, and Beyonce just doesn't talk about nobody and nothing.
Hmm.
So
My
yeah,
perspective is there's two queens that are orbiting around each other.
right,
Okay?
right,
Like these are two queens, these
and
are
they
two
share a
heavy
friend.
hitters, and they share a friend.
Mhm.
Has anybody out there had two different groups of friends and they had to come and merge together
Oh,
for
I
an
hate it.
event?
I hate that. Oh, it's the
I
worst.
hate it. I trust me. When I was graduating from university, that's when it was like, oh Lord, because it was a whole weekend. It wasn't even just a day or like the event itself. It was a whole weekend, and so it's hard because friends don't always mesh well, right? And
Mhm.
that common denominator, that one friend that is a common denominator, is a denominator for a reason. And so, I see that Kelly at that time, everybody was telling her that she should explore a career on her own.
Mhm.
Everybody, not just Brandy,
Mhm.
everybody. Because back then, the big talks were, oh, Destiny's Child's breaking up and they're done for good and ba 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 ba. And that wasn't the case. They were just exploring their own, musical endeavors. And that's fine. And I think that they were, especially Destiny's Child, were very good at supporting one another. And I don't think we should just put it on Brandy because I think everybody was doing that. But I think that at the
Yeah.
time, they were also anybody that was in R&B, they were kind of pitting each other
Yeah,
against
that's
like that's the
always
music
with the
industry,
women, especially with the women, right?
especially with the women.
Mm.
The men not so much, but
Mm.
specifically with the women, and even with Monica and Brandy. They tried to do
That,
that.
oh, that was a whole thing, and they fed into it. They felt,
They
and you
sure
know,
did. They felt
it
hook, line, and
always
sinker.
tends to work, which sucks, which is terrible.
Right? And so it's not surprising. But what is surprising is that, okay, you guys are now grown ass women now. Like, you guys are big grown ass women. You had children, all sorts of thing. So I don't understand why that's still there. I think it would have been nice if Beyonce did go and see Brandy and said, you know what? I hope you have a good concert or whatever the case. He shouldn't have to do it every single time, but I think if and what I heard was that Beyonce didn't just go to one performance.
Mm,
She went to a couple.
yeah,
So, yeah. It's like,
yeah, and there's
okay,
actual footage of Brandy and Beyonce like walking right past
right
each other.
past each other. And I
Mm,
think that's a little squash it. Like, you guys are grown women now. Like, I could understand back then, but now you're grown women, so we should just all squash it. And they're both queens in their own
yeah,
right,
in
right?
their own
And I
right. Yeah.
think that they know how to orbit around each other's worlds without being a part of each other's worlds. And I can accept that. But I also have to say, you guys are too old for this shit. Like, you're too big for this, like, at this point, so just squash it. You don't have to be best friends, but you do share a friend in common. Don't make it, a comfortable situation for
Mm,
Kelly, because this
mm.
must be really uncomfortable for her.
Right, right.
She must be like, ah, shit, B's here.
Yeah, Ray J had to bring it up. They've been probably dealing with this. The thing is, they've been probably, remember, they're both very, like you said, they're both queens. They're both been have maintained their careers, and they're both respected in the music community. So they've probably been walking past and seeing each other for the past
Decades.
15, 20 years, almost 20
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
So this ain't nothing new, but Ray J with his messy self.
Oh, God.
But
And
anyway,
another
yeah.
thing with that is that I could see why Beyonce doesn't want to have anything to do with Brandy. I'm sorry, Brandy. I know he's your brother and you love him, but he is a piranha. Nobody wants to be near him. He just had a situation the other day with his baby mother pulling guns out on her while she's holding their child.
Mm,
He's still trying to deal with that shit, yet he's over here causing and stirring up a mess over here. Okay. Ray J is a messy, messy man.
mm.
Okay. And Beyonce is not trying to deal with the mess.
No, she tries to stay as far away as possible.
Okay. You notice how all the mess is happening and Beyonce's over there super clean?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's quiet as a mouse.
This is how she's operated. And some people, I really think it should be studied.
Mm,
Her ability to do this, because I've seen, the best of the best. They crack under the weight. They crack under the scrutiny, under the name calling, under all of
mm,
it. And don't think for a second, this is why we call it Beyonce's internet, okay? That Beyonce is not out here seeing everything. She sees it all. She knows what's going on. However, she stays strong in the I don't want anything to do with that. So why would she want to go? I'm sorry, Brandy, but your brother's a piranha. Why would I even want to be seen next to him?
Do you mean pariah?
A piranha, a pariah. Sorry, I call it the
Nothing
wrong
wrong with
thing.
that. I've done that before. That's why I said get her. Let me
Let
get
me
her
just
right.
straighten her out with that name. But yeah, no, but for real, like, he is, you don't want to be around him right now. So I could see why, Beyonce's like, listen, Kelly, okay, girl, I'm gonna come watch you. I'm gonna come say hi. But don't expect me to go anywhere near that heifer over there, because her and her brother right now,
Mm.
nah, it's okay. So, and I could see, B just not wanting to be involved with that.
No,
Like,
that's true. That alone, yeah, right
yeah,
now,
she
yeah,
she doesn't want to be involved in sticky stuff. She already has, people always putting her in situations
yeah,
as
that's
is.
true.
She's not trying to be a part of none of that. And our Ray J, you need to just shut the hell up. Okay? I'm tired of hearing this squeaky ass man's voice. Like, I'm tired of Ray J, sorry. I
Mm.
am really tired of him because he's just bagload of drama. Like, just, can you put out a record? Can you do
I don't
something
want to
with
hear no
yourself?
record from him.
Do
He can't.
something other
He
than
can't
get
sing.
into the mess, because he's so flipping messy, this guy. And if I were Brandy, He's an embarrassment. He is. He's an embarrassment. I could see why a lot of people would not want to mess with Brandy because of her brother.
I never thought of that. You're right. You're right.
So, I mean, I wouldn't. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't want to be nowhere near him. Just the other day, okay, he's pulling out guns on his baby mother, got arrested, had to bail himself out, and now, not even a week later, here you are talking about Beyonce?
Mm,
Nah, fam. I don't want to be connected to you either. Uh, sorry, Brandy. We love you, but your brother's messy, so I'm gonna stay away. So I don't wrong B for that either. Like
mm,
I think she could see that from a mile away, and Ray J is out in these Hollywood streets doing all sorts of stupid shit. Like I wouldn't want to be anywhere near him, nowhere associated to him. Brandy, sorry, you're gonna have to take the L for your brother. And another thing, why can't you tell your brother to shut the hell up? Brandy, can you tell him to shut the hell up? And when he was ranting about this, he starts by saying, "Oh, it's like he's really looking for clout." Because when
mm,
he was going on the rant, he starts out by saying, "Everybody cleared the room. Like everybody left because they see me crashing out."
mm.
So wait, you understand, right? That gives you insight that he understands that what he's doing is really messy, and he's laughing about it. So listen, I listen, Beyonce, girl, you go support Kelly. I slide to the side. You see,
Slide, slide through the side.
okay,
Slide through that side door, you and your man.
right?
Um.
Messy.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, hey, it is what it is, and if the ladies want to fix it, they can. If they don't, that's okay too. Not everybody has to be friends.
Yeah, I don't think Brandy's really interested either.
Yeah. No, neither
I
of
don't think
them.
she
So,
is. Yeah.
all right. So we're gonna move on. We talked about Candy and Todd's divorce. I think in our last episode, but new development recently, with him trying to get alimony and child support, as
Oh, he
well
wants
as,
custody. He wants custody of them children.
oh, he wants custody. Well, the
Yeah.
custody is gonna be because he
Yeah,
wants child support.
child support as well. Yeah. Hmm.
But because he can't get the right. So he also, another new thing that I just saw today is that it's coming out. Some source, quote unquote source, has gone to people saying that there's allegedly another woman involved, which I don't think that. Yes, I'm going to use the word allegedly, but that was always my assumption.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
Because why else? Because it's why else would I guess Candy's been putting up with him being not really her equal since she got with him, so it can't be that. I think she accept when she decided to date and marry Todd, I'd have to assume she was okay with that, and
Yeah.
he would have to be okay with that unless he change up, and men do change up with that. But so that there was always a balance thing, because not only is she famous and successful in music, but she has continued to thrive up into her age now. I think she's in her late 40s, early 50s. She might even be 50 now.
Hmm.
Let me not lie on this woman's age, actually.
I think she's close to 50, and I don't think
Yeah,
she.
I don't
Yeah.
think she's 50 yet. Yeah, she's probably late 40s, but not that doesn't have much to do with this. But
Hmm.
she is very successful past her music career. She's not only she has the same birthday as me. I did not know that.
Yeah, she's 49.
She's 49. I'm not 49, guys, but she just was born on the
No.
same day as me.
Yes.
um, that is so
Just
funny.
be
I did not
49
know
though.
she had the same exact. I knew she was a Taurus. I did not know she had the exact same birthday as me. I just
Yeah.
learned something new, guys.
Yeah.
I need to give her more grace because I haven't really been a big Candy person, but I respect her. Definitely
Hmm.
always respect her. Anyway, back to the story at hand. Um, yes, so a woman involved, and I think a lot of people were always side-eyeing Todd, just because it's always, when a woman, no matter what her background is or race, goes with is very very successful, and her husband is not close to her in that success,
Mhm.
it can open the door to a lot of things. Like the man would have to really have his ego in check. I think we've seen it work, but it rarely
Mhm.
does. It very rarely does, because the man's ego always shows up
Yep.
eventually.
Yep.
So it's not been confirmed, but that is the newest thing, is that he was cheating on her. And because it's been told to People News from some source, people who's always going to check their sources. So there is probably a lot of legitimacy to it. Um, so I mean that helps Candy's case, if anything. Like, it sucks that that happened, and I know that knowing her, Candy, and what she's already been put through with Todd, as well as having two young her children are still young. With the children
Yeah.
she's had with him are
Yeah.
still young. And knowing, I know a Taurus, she's not gonna throw up her hands and go and divorce just like that. So she's probably been dealing with a lot for the past
Mhm.
few years, and
Well, they've been, I think, separated for the last year or so, and so
okay, yeah.
they've been trying to, like, still show
Keep up
face that
appearance.
they're not.
Yeah, and because they have the busy, remember we were talking about, well, the divorce last week, they have a lot of tied what do you want projects. They've had a lot of
Yes.
projects that they're tied to together, including the shows she's on now on Broadway. So I could see, you have to clean up some stuff, get your, what do they say? Get your house in order.
Mhm.
You have to get your house in order. She had to get her house in order, and she dropped the bomb.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Like, I'm kind of sad to see them
Yeah, I'm
parting.
sad. I thought they were so cute.
I thought they were cute, and I thought they were really trying to be, open with each other, to be
Mhm.
vulnerable with each other, and to just, like, I don't know, towards, I don't know, when
That's why
she
I feel
had the
like Todd
second
must have.
child, when she had,
Yeah.
I think the baby's name is Blaze
I can't remember which one's name is
or
Blaze, but one of them
Ace.
is named Blaze.
Yeah,
Yes.
anyway, when she had the last child,
Hmm.
right, is when I was really rooting for them, because I could see during that time Todd
Hmm.
was pulling away. Like, I could
Mm,
see, and when I say pulling away, let me just break that down real quick. This is a woman who is self-made,
mm,
okay, who has been hustling since she was a teenager, literally, in escape. She's been hustling and she's made something of herself. And she's been able to open all these businesses with him and do all these things, but she was doing this way before she met Todd. And I feel poorly for Candy because I think she really just wants someone to love her.
mm,
And I think that there's parts of Candy that she might need to work on, because when she's in love with, or when she's with somebody, it's almost like she expects them to dedicate their whole self to her. And I
mhm,
think that their relationship was taking a lot of hits, especially
mm,
with Candy's mom. She was very active in their marriage,
mm,
okay, which is not always a good thing because she was mean. Her mother was very mean. And I think
mhm.
that Candy just really wanted someone to love her. And I think that she's been trying so desperately with Todd and trying to give him what he wants. And this is where the
Yes,
threesome
you
comes
said
in.
exactly. Yeah.
Like, she's been trying to make him happy, and and I understand why, because she genuinely loved him and she
Mhm.
wants somebody to love her too. Um Now, that doesn't mean that Candy's perfect. Like, she's
No.
not. She's not perfect. She has flaws. And I think that, maybe Todd was looking past them for a certain point, but after a while, I think Candy was expecting Todd to be, like, a part of her team,
Mhm.
not their own team. Do you know what I mean? Like, as
I
man
get.
and
Yeah,
wife.
I get
So,
that.
and I think that Todd was down for it at first, because look at Candy. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Like, she's successful, she's has a lot of money, she has fame, all these things, and I think it was very enticing for him. But after a while, you want to be able to do your own thing. You want to
mhm.
be able to have your own
Oh, he was
projects where
fighting to do that. Yeah, yeah,
he was
definitely.
what? The man was begging. And it was like, he shouldn't even have to beg. Like, let him go do his thing. But I think Candy got very comfortable with how things were, and it wasn't working for them anymore. or it wasn't working for him. And so now we're here, and it's gotten messy. And I think that whenever you involve a third party in your marriage, you're gonna face problems. You're gonna face
It's gonna
issues.
come some way or shape or
And I
form.
think
Yeah.
this is the problem. I think this is the problem. This is where it started, when you bring a woman into your bed. So, you're saying to that man that you're okay with it. You're okay with him being with another woman. Yes, you can have all these rules and all these things, right? But you've opened the door. So you can't control how quickly people rush through it. You can't. And so I hope that, they find some sort of middle ground. We're hearing some messy stuff. Like this
No,
man.
here's the thing is I thought if he was a man and just was like, okay, I have a prenup, da, 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 and wasn't begging for money from her, I don't think it will I would think okay, it would be pretty fairly smooth. But now he's trying to buck up and ask for money.
And
And so
I'll be
now it's
honest
gonna
with
get
you though, I kind
Mhm,
of agree with it, because
mhm,
I'll say one thing, Candy, you should have shut the hell up about this until you were fully, like, in the process of divorce, because she came out before she said before she actually filed for the divorce. She came out and said that they're getting divorced.
mhm,
So I know it was a short amount of time in between that,
mm.
right? However, you should have just held this down, dealt with it behind the scenes, got divorced, and then told everybody.
But people are gonna know. That's not something she can really
People are going
hide.
to talk, but they can talk until there's a confirmation,
But
right?
can't they get aren't divorce papers like publicly
Well,
accessible to
once
the
they're filed, right?
mm.
But they were pretty good at hiding it from everybody
Yeah,
that they were
I'd
even
say.
separated,
Yeah. I
right?
think it was probably gonna come out anyway, so she wanted to control
She
the
wanted to
narrative.
get ahead of it,
Mhm.
right? But here's the thing, is that you both should have got ahead of it. Because I'm saying that to say, I think he's salty.
Of
I think he's
course.
salty at the fact that she came out and said it, and before she actually even filed, right? And
Yeah.
I think he got salty, and now that's why he's coming for custody of the children, and he wants child support, and he wants alimony. That's why he's doing that, because
Mhm.
she didn't take that leap and put it out to the world together. She did
Mhm.
it on her own.
Yeah, they could have done it together, but remember if he didn't want the divorce, he would have never been, he would have never come together. That would have never come together.
Yeah, but now we know he's out here in these streets with an ex woman anyway. So
Mhm.
I think he did want the divorce. I think he wanted to
Mm.
get divorced from her a while ago.
Well, I don't know, but
It seemed
it's
like
it's
it
it's
seemed like
happened.
he wasn't happy
And
for a while.
yeah, but yeah, exactly. So I feel somebody like him, if your wife is giving you everything, you're married,
Hmm.
you're doing busy, she helps you open your restaurant or
Hmm.
whatever else he wanted to do. She has your kids, she allows other women into the bedroom, like she's
Hmm.
bending over backwards and you're never happy,
Yeah.
then a man like that's never going to be happy. He's
No.
always going to step out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess this is a lesson for her as well. A man like that, he's like he can't bend. It's like if he's not giving you or bringing anything to the table, why are you back bending over backwards for him? It was a
And
mistake
yeah,
from the beginning.
yeah, it was a big mistake. But I think where she made the biggest mistake was that she expected Todd to be like a part of her team.
Yes, I
And
agree with you.
and
I agree with you.
no. It didn't work. It didn't work. She should have allowed him to go deal with all of that on his own.
And he should have did gone do that by himself with his own money.
It That too. That too. That
Because you
too.
can't say you're the big man and you're relying on your wife's
That
partnership to
too.
do anything.
That
So that's
too.
like a whole other thing. But you know what? I think I unfortunately I do think this is I was hoping for something smooth because they are generally smooth people. But now that he's bucked up, I think it's gonna get dirty. It's
Yeah.
gonna get messy now.
Yeah.
So we'll
Because one
see.
thing Candy doesn't play about is her kids. I'll give her that.
And her money.
Her money, and her
Oh
kids, don't play with neither one. And so I hope it really doesn't get too messy,
yeah,
because they do
hopefully
have
not, but
small kids still, and that
mhm.
they find some sort of way to make it work for those small kids. But one thing I wanted to address before we move on was
Mhm.
there was something that Candy's mother did that I thought was really, really, really smart. Was that she made sure that Todd wouldn't have any control over money that was meant for Riley, which is
Mm.
Candy's first
The
daughter.
first daughter, yeah.
And I found that to be very insightful. Why would the mother feel like I knew? We all knew that she thought he was a gold digger, and
Yeah,
we all knew that. She made it
he didn't
very
hide that.
clear, right? That how she felt about him. But the fact that she could see that much ahead, where she's like, you know what? He can't be the one to decide if anything happens to Candy. He cannot be the one to decide what Riley, her daughter, will get. And
No, of course not.
right, and that was really actually smarter for mother to do because this might get real nasty. It might get
Mm,
real
it might.
nasty because now look, he's bucking up for real.
Yeah.
Because before he wasn't trying to come for cussy and all sorts of thing. So that was her mama had some insight with Todd. And I always thought, I'll be honest with you, I never really thought that Todd was in it 100%. I'm
Mm,
sorry, I thought
mm.
he was there 95, but he always gave me this feeling like you're in it for more than what you say you're in it for. Like, I don't know,
Mm, mm,
something just didn't seem 100% real. But that's just
mm.
me. They'll be
Yeah.
fine. These are millionaire problems, okay?
Yeah.
They'll be they'll be quite
Right? Right?
they'll be
They'll
fine.
figure it out. They're good.
Yeah, they got
Um
lawyers. Okay, shoot.
our final story and headline before we get into our one segment, the workout this
Mm-hmm.
week is Miss Summer Walker. She
Mm.
recently was on a radio show and they were asking her about any recently they were touching about surgery. I don't actually know the question they asked. I don't think they were so bold to say that, but maybe they're asking her about getting in shape for tour or something. But it came up that the body, her I love it came up of her talking about her surgery. So she goes, "I love surgery.
Mm.
I got my tits redone for the fourth time and liposuction for the second time. Um, I also wanted to get my removed, but my team her talked me out of it because I was going on tour." I was like, "Girl."
Wow.
I mean, she's been doing a lot of bird brain stuff online in the past month, but girl. But anyway, well, she
Summer.
got
Really?
she and then of course everybody was shocked. Listen, we all know, like, okay, I'm gonna say something crazy. I saw this and it's not coming from my heart or my mind. I'm repeating something that I saw. Somebody I wish I had the comment right in front of me, but it was pretty much the gist of it was she better stop working on her face. She's starting to look like T.S. Madison.
Ooh.
And
Oh,
I
there's
was
the tea
like,
right there. There is
if
the tea. It's
and the
piping
thing
hot.
is, guys, it's not alluding, the insult has nothing to do with saying that she has any type of manly anything. It's more to say she
Neither does
has
T.S. Madison.
no shit,
Okay.
shit. Yeah, T.S. Madison does not have a man face,
At
but
all.
it's a called surgery face.
That's right. And she does look a lot like her.
She does. She does a slimmer version, the
Yeah,
skinnier version.
yeah, exactly. A slimmer version of her.
But she does. It's like it's exaggerated surgery, and Summer it hurts so much because regardless of what you look like, right? Your face is your face. But
Hmm.
Summer is looks to me personally, she looked way better natural,
Yes.
much
Yes.
better, a more
Yes.
original look. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Less plastic. Yeah.
less plastic. And again, we choose we have body autonomy, so it's your body, you do what you want, but it's also the messaging, like you say, you're a popular singer, a lot of young girls look up to you, they love you, they love your music. Not that, that's a whole other debate, but she's also kind of preachy and self-righteous too, because she used to be like, you have to eat clean, you got to work out, you need to look after yourself, all these things. I don't feed my kids this, I don't feed my kids that, but you're injecting yourself with silicone
It
and
doesn't
God
make
knows.
any sense. No.
Anyway, so following the backlash, she came on saying, I love my body with a fiery, burning passion. I'm not changing or reducing anything. I don't know why it would bother you you were not if we're not intimate and you don't even know me in real life. It's just concerning, girl. It's not about it bother. It
Oh,
doesn't bother
girl.
me, but it's more like, are you okay? I'm more concerned about you.
Oh,
It's a body dysmorphia for me.
right? And I wanted to know that she's also gotten lighter. Okay.
Oh, you think she's bleaching?
Yeah, I know she's bleaching. I know it.
Mm,
100%. Because you can go back to when Summer Walker just came out and she was
mm,
like a chocolatey brown.
mm.
Okay. Yeah. Now look at her. Yeah. She doesn't look that chocolate. That chocolate's thinning out. Okay. I don't know what's going on here, but she's doing all sorts of stuff to change who she is. And I'll be honest with you, I'm going to be funny for a minute, but her and K Michelle are unrecognizable, okay, at this point. And maybe that's the point for them. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to be recognizable. But Summer Walker, it's fun and dandy and
Her
everything
body
like
doesn't even
that.
look good. She has an ant
That's what I'm
butty.
saying. That's what I'm
She has a
saying.
Remember when Kim
Yes.
Kardashian's butty looked weird? She
Yes.
has that weird, and even Kim
Yes.
Kardashian went and reduced it so she doesn't
Yeah,
look
she
so
went and
weird.
fixed that quick time. Yep, sure
This
did.
looks a mess. She looks a
She looks a
mess.
mess. And it's because this is not necessary. None of it is necessary. It's all cosmetic. It's all your desire to look like something other than yourself.
Mm.
And listen, how I feel about cosmetic surgery is this. It's very simple with me. You do what you want with your body,
Yeah, of course.
okay?
Yeah.
However, stay the hell away from your face.
Right?
That's all I
Don't mess your
say.
face up.
Don't do your face. Look
We
at
don't know
Nicki
who K
Minaj.
Michelle. We don't know who K Michelle is.
I Oh, now I'm still
Where is
trying to
she?
find K Michelle. Okay,
We don't know. I hear her. I don't see her.
this woman says that she's K Michelle. Oh no, I'm like, nah, fam. I can't believe it. And look at Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj has had surgery on her body, but
Yes.
she never touched her face.
Yeah. And her face is a nice face.
She has a pretty
She's
face,
aging very, very gracefully. She looks
right?
amazing. Her face looks great,
Right?
actually.
Exactly. And I just feel like when you start touching your face and you start touching, doing the same surgery 4 times, yeah, that's
Look,
a problem.
the same surgery that 10 other women have done.
Like, come on. So that means you can't be satisfied. That's what
Yeah, we
that
lost
means.
her. I think we lost her. We
Yeah, we
lost her.
lost her. The girl is talking about removing a rib. She's gone.
She's gone.
It's gone. She's talking about removing a rib. Okay? That's when you know that you're far gone. You're far gone. Because there's one thing if you want to nip and you want to tuck and
Right?
okay, when you want to change what you look like or you want to alter your
Yeah, that's extreme.
composition, like how your body is structured,
And she doesn't even have no big waist. Like, she already has a small waist from all her lipo. What else will
okay,
you want, girl? Shoot.
removing a rib? What are we doing? Like, it can't be that serious. I'm just sorry. It just can't be that serious. I understand that you're in the limelight and I get all of that, right? And to a level, I can understand, okay, you want maybe a little lipo here, or, maybe you
Yeah,
want
she's
to
had
get a
some
little.
ki-
She's kids and all that. You
she's
want
had
to keep her
kids.
body looking right
Mm,
because of the industry that she's in, her job.
yes,
I
her
can get
job.
that. But once you start touching that face, it's
Mm-mm.
been my experience that they don't ever stop.
No, you're right.
Once they do it once, look at K Michelle. We saw her unrecognizable after the second face surgery that she had.
I don't know if that was. It could have been all been the third or fourth,
So
as far as I.
see, this is it. Because I only know about two. Okay? I don't know when she went to, have a little extra little tuck and snip and snap and this.
Because first she was getting lighter,
Right?
then she was doing all type of stuff.
all type of stuff.
We're
But
in the
with her,
last iteration. Yeah.
with K Michelle, which I find to be the hypocrisy,
Mm.
was at one point she was, trying to appeal to people not to do plastic
Yes,
surgery
because she
because
the booty. The
booty and
yeah.
and all of that, she had to get all sorts of stuff taken out of
Mm.
her. But then you go for your face? Are you kidding me?
Your whole
Your
face.
whole face. Like, this is your calling card. This is what makes you you.
She's a complete different complexion.
I don't even know who that woman is. I sent you the picture. I was like, who is this? Okay. They're calling themselves K Michelle. Who is this? And Summer Walker, you're right on trend with her.
She's on her way, and she started young.
Yeah.
Summer
Real
Walker,
young.
I don't even know if she's 30 years old yet. She
Again,
must
I
be.
can understand maybe some liposuction or,
Yes, I
you
see them,
know,
but your
it's
face,
your
girl.
face. And it's like, what are you saying? What, you think God made mistakes here? Is that what you're trying to tell me? And so I don't agree with it. I don't agree with how she's trying to make it so nonchalant. This is not a nonchalant
Yeah.
thing.
Did you
It
see the
really
clip?
isn't. Even Kim Kardashian knows, like, don't mess with my face too much. You hear me?
Yeah. Did you
You
see the clip of Summer Walker? The way
Yes, I did see it. And
oh, that's when she was
she looks
very
like,
nonchalant. I was like,
yeah,
girl.
well, and then, and I'm like, girl, you're talking about taking out a rib.
Right?
Okay, we can't act like we can't act like this is so, like, oh yeah, like I'm ordering a burger or something. No, this is not that. This is something that you should take very seriously. And there's a lot of young girls that look up to Summer Walker, and so
Yeah.
she's, what are you saying? What are you saying? Young girls are looking at you as a role model. Now, I understand a lot of artists will say, I'm an
Yeah.
artist, not a role model.
Right, right, right.
Okay, yeah, I get that, right? So then why are you changing your face? Why is it so important to you to change your face? You're not a role model. You don't care about, so just do your music. Why do you have to
Mm,
change what you look like? So miss me with the bullshit. You're out here doing it because you think it's going to have more eyes on you. You're going to
mm.
get more fame.
You think
People are
there's
going to
more
still stay in love with you.
desirability?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
get out of here with that. So for me, Summer Walker, if you want to do all these surgeries, go ahead, girl. Okay, we already have K Michelle out here. We don't even know who the hell this woman is. Okay, so you could join the club, and that's fine. But can you not make it seem so trivial? Can you not make it seem like it's not a problem to take out a rib? Like, it is. This is a big deal. And I just don't like how celebrities, not just her, try to make this seem like it's super okay, like it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. And you're telling this young generation that what they look like is not enough.
Anytime you go on a surgery table, there's a whole thing about image, but just the risk. Anytime a doctor is going to cut you open, you have to take anesthesia. Listen,
You know that some of these procedures, you have to have a psych evaluation.
I think you should.
No, some of them it's required. You have to
Yeah.
have a psych evaluation. So if it's that serious, right, where they have to evaluate your mental stability before they can cut you open and slice and dice you up, okay, then this is not a joke. This is not something that we should just act like, yeah, I'm just gonna take out my rib. No,
Mm.
heifer, it's not that light of a topic. Like, you're showing young girls that this is the length that you should go to be
Mm.
what? To be what is my question. But and another thing with Summer Walker, I thought she had anxiety with performing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's her.
Oh, okay. So because I heard her performances are doo doo. Like, she just sits there and sings.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing all of this for? What are we doing all this for? Like, is she doing it really for herself and trying to pass it off as, trying to stay young and fresh for the industry? Like, I don't know. Anyway, who cares? Summer Walker, listen, if you're unrecognizable, okay, after a while, people aren't gonna, they're not gonna really mess with you. The only thing that will be recognizable is your voice, and that's it. Um, So just watch what you're saying to these young kids. Just that's all I gotta say. Like, watch what you're saying to these young kids. Like, realize who you have fans. You know, the fans that you have. Like, what are you saying to young black women? That's all I'm saying.
Right?
But you know what? Let's move on because Summer Walker is gonna be just fine. My girl's trying to
Right.
remove ribs and shit, so she'll be just fine. Okay, like, oh, and her doctors told her not to do it. Yeah, there's a reason, you know. But hey, to each their own. We're gonna move on into the one and only workout. Yes, the one and only segment here. And so in this workout, we're gonna talk about Miss Oprah. Lord God, Miss Oprah. So Miss Oprah, she has I don't know if it's a special that she's running. I'm not exactly sure. I couldn't quite pinpoint myself when I was watching the clips on this as to
Mm. It was actually a podcast, one of her podcast episodes, but she did
okay,
record. It's a recorded podcast though, so it's
okay,
on
that's
YouTube.
what I was getting. I
Mhm,
wasn't sure because in terms of quality, I
mhm.
mean, look at the quality. You know, it's like studio quality. You
The
know,
studio right? You're like, that's a podcast?
I was like, what is this? Is this a special? Like, what? I was trying to figure it out, but okay, podcast.
It
So, there's an issue that or a topic that Oprah has started to talk more and more about. And it's kind of, you know, everybody's talking about it now. It's kind of going viral. And so it's, you know, the topic of cutting people, family members off, and just walking away from that. And so we want to discuss the actual topic itself and not so much Oprah and you know all that she thinks about it. But I do want to point out, Oprah, girl, you've been doing this shutting people out since early
Yeah,
2000s.
and why we wanna call it out is because Oprah was acting brand new. She was calling it a trend. She was acting like this was like she says it's act the episode is actually called, sorry to cut you off, but before you
No,
go,
no, no. Go ahead.
because I
Yeah,
know where you're going with this, is that Oprah explores the rising trend of going no contact with your family. Now, sorry, finish your thought.
it's not a trend, Oprah. You've been doing it since the early 2000s. You actually went through your whole life on your show, the Oprah show, and your past histories and your past hurts and traumas. You went through an entire, you know, overhaul of who you are right there on your show. So we got to see the people that you cut off. We got to see your parents. We got to see where you lived and who your relatives, and we got to also see that you had to distance yourself from a lot of them. And so this is not brand new. My girl Oprah has been doing it. Everybody's been doing it for forever, since the dawn of time. To be honest, I think people have been doing this in some shape or form. It
Mm,
wasn't until, I guess, you know, maybe the early 2000s that we started to actually pinpoint a name on it. And Oprah has been talking about this forever. So it's kind of, you know, she is acting brand new. Okay, she is acting like this is something new to her. There was actually a point in the Oprah show where she was helping other people lock off people in their family. So, but anyhow, we're going to take the topic itself. And so I wanted to say how my views on that, and
mhm,
maybe you can elaborate on yours as well.
mhm,
But cutting off your family. Now, I try to look at it now as an adult from a different perspective because I've had to actually do this. I've
mm,
actually had to cut off people in my life, like really close, like my immediate family. And
mm,
yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's actually really, really hard. Um, but if you need to preserve your mental health, if you need to have peace, then you got to do what you got to do.
mm,
And you know, if ever there comes a time where you can reconnect with that family, and you're open to it, explore it, but not until you're ready. Because it took me a long time. It took me a long time
mm,
to reconnect with that particular family member. But when somebody hurts you, right? Sometimes when you cut that person out of your life, it's so that you can save yourself,
Right. It's
and
not.
it
It's. Hmm.
has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with you. And if you can't be around that person and not feel anxious or upset or sad, or it do some sort of mental work on you, then it's not, you don't have to be, you just don't have to be. You can pray that the situation change and that maybe one day you can again, but until that time comes, it's okay. It's okay, because I've seen it the other way around, where people have been hurt by their family and they're
Right.
still exposed to that person over
Mm.
and over and over again, and it wears and tears on your mental. It really wears and tears on your mental, and before you know it, you've lost yourself again in the midst of the nonsense. And so I never encourage that. However, I will say that when I went no contact, it was never with the intention of it being forever,
Mm.
because forever is a long, bloody time. Okay.
Right.
However, it was until when it needed to be. Until it wasn't. It
Hmm.
wasn't a definite in my mind, but it was. You know what? This is gonna how it has to be right now, right?
Mm.
And hopefully in the future, you know um it will turn out to be something else. For
Mm.
me, it was really hard because, okay, I'll just put it out there. I'm gonna put my business on blast. I hope everybody's listening. I'm gonna put my business on blast.
Uh oh.
So for me, it was my sister. And for me, I only have one sister. I don't have any
Mm.
more, just the one. And she hurt me to my core, like, to a young person still coming into their own. She hurt me to my core, and to this
Mm.
day I don't think she really understands how much that hurt.
Mm.
I don't think she'll ever really understand. But there came a point where I think forgiveness is no longer for that person, it's for you. And I
Yeah.
had to forgive and I had to let go, because it was taking pieces of me that, even while I'm, cutting you off and leaving you over there, it was still taking away from me. And
Mm.
it just wasn't right. It just didn't work for me after a while. And I prayed and I prayed and I, just before I had my child, when I found out I was pregnant, is when I
Mhm.
decided, you know what, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try
Mm.
again,
That makes
and
sense.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna let this go, and I'm going to move on, because I have something to be excited for. I have something that God's blessed me with, and I just don't want to carry that over into that child's
Mm.
life. And
Mm.
so, because it does, it's your
Yeah.
family.
It's
It's your
true.
family.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and because I only have one sibling, it would have almost been like my child never had an aunt.
Mm.
These are things that you have to consider, right? I know in the midst of it all, you don't really think of these things, but once, time subsides a bit, you hope and pray that maybe one day, you know? And so my one day came. We're still not, we're not going
Yeah. Because.
shopping together. We're not calling each other up and saying, "Hey, let's go shop." We're just not
Mhm.
there. I don't
Yeah.
think we'll ever be there, but we're on a better path now. And I've learned to forgive. I've learned to forgive, and it's true when they say forgiveness is not for the other person. It is for you. And it helped. And I, help it helped me to at least try,
Yeah.
right? And so now we're in a lot better place. But it took a long time. It took a long time. I've lost a lot of years with my
Mm.
sister. Um, However, we're in a better place now. And so sometimes you got to do it in order for you to be in a better place in the future. But for those who are going to just cut them off and walk away, hey, do what you
Yeah.
got to do.
Right.
You got to preserve self. You got to
Be.
preserve self. So,
Right.
but anyhow, that's my little two piece on the situation. And I have other
Mm.
things to say. But what do you think about this topic here, Miss Oprah?
I. Yeah. So. Well. Hey. Oprah's always, got her hand to the pulse, but I feel she's a little late. She's a little off the mark in that this should not be treated as a new trend. It could be something
She
you want to
recycle things now. She
right.
recycle.
Just true. That's true. I mean, it could be something you want to explore, but Oprah, like this ain't nothing new. So
Especially for her.
I was like, why you gasping in your mouth, your jaws open, Oprah? We actually like, I don't know if you saw the clip, but I was like, lady.
Big
So
ol' get out of here, Oprah.
so jokes aside, I was like, calm down.
It's only my brethren that will point that shit out because honestly, I was thinking it. I was like, girl, please.
so
Big
so
ol' I was like, calm down, Oprah.
so so jokes aside, so outside of that,
Okay, sorry. No, but it's true.
out,
Oh
it's
Lord.
it's so layered because personally, for family, and maybe that's why I actually admire people who do it, because I think at the end of the day, and they do discuss this on the show, she has a couple of specialists and
Hmm.
therapists, and like to your point, it's about advocating for yourself and setting some strong boundaries to just have, they use the word drama free life, but you want peace, you
Yeah,
want to create some, obviously the relationship has some friction
yeah.
and what's the word, conflict, and you decide you don't want to deal with that conflict anymore. You've probably been dealing with that conflict for many years before you even make that decision, because it's very hard, especially if we want to focus on who we are. We're in the black community, whether you're African
Hmm.
American or Caribbean or African.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, back in the day, it was only, I'm gonna say it, it was only, I only heard this from my white friends.
This is it on the
This
Oprah
was some,
show. Hmm.
this was some white people stuff.
Yeah.
But now I would say in the last 5 6 years, I've seen a lot of people in the black
Yep.
community,
Hmm.
through therapy and getting more, getting therapy and stuff, to deal with, whatever trauma or stuff, the issues they're dealing with in life, in cutting off their family.
Yeah.
And there, it could be as small as, maybe it was one hurtful incident like the story you shared,
Yeah.
or it could, or it could be something as terrible as, like, maybe your uncle molested you, like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean,
Yeah.
and your mom didn't say anything. Like, it could go so deep.
Yeah.
And to your point, I love you said, what I love how you ended, sharing your stories, like, if you have your reason, do it. If it's going to bring you peace,
That's right.
because no one, especially in the black community, is just cutting off their family for no reason.
And it has to be dire, like dire reasons why. Because in the black community, it's like you're almost
It's
tied.
a
Well,
huge
that's your
deal.
family. That's
Yes.
that's your family. And so it's
Yeah.
okay for my family to hurt me.
Right. That's unfortunately the toxic thing with black families,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
That's
It
where
is.
I do give kudos to our Caucasian friends.
Yeah.
In that, yeah, if somebody hurt you, just because they're blood, they should not have access to you
No.
and to
No.
ruffle you. You have to sit in front of them at your Christmas and Thanksgiving, and
Yeah.
no, and I think that's why I'm happy this quote unquote trend has found the black people,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we have been notorious for just shut up and be quiet and keep it moving,
Yeah.
keeping family secrets
Yeah.
and all this drama.
Yeah.
But and also there's something that people don't talk about, and again, like, I don't think I have a personal, I don't think I've ever cut off, like, intentionally, let's put that word,
Mhm.
I've
Yeah.
never intentionally cut off a family um member for a reason,
Mhm.
but I do think it is a healthy thing to do, because I'm a little bit more forgiving than maybe I should be. But um that's why I admire, it's like, if you could, and a lot of people do this through therapy, if you could identify something that is a trigger that is
Mhm.
deeply wounding you,
Yeah.
and why, and your family's putting pressure, so if you know how to intentionally do the work and be able to cut that person or people off, kudos to you. But I was going to ask, there's also the forced forgiveness, and I without
Mhm.
saying much, I know that might have been something you came up with,
Oh
came
yeah.
up
I'm
against,
I'm
where
actually
there's a lot
glad
of
you mentioned
pressure.
that. I'm actually
There's a
glad you do. Yeah, go on.
Especially for us, again, talking about our community, is like, I think Oprah was putting on this face to be like, "Oh my god, these people, whether they're black or white, I think it was a mixed type, different groups of type of people talking about their stories."
Mhm.
But oh, you cut off your family. Um, how could you do that? Why did you do that? How was it a therapist who told you to do it? And I actually have to see the whole thing. I've been seeing clips and clips, but the way
Yeah.
we're talking about this, I think I need to just go watch the whole thing. But I
Yeah.
think but I think something we face in our
Yep.
generation, in our
Yeah.
families, is the forced forgiveness. Oh, that's your mom. That's your
Yep.
cousin.
Mhm.
That's your uncle. You have to face it out. That's family. That's your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but if that's my family, but if they're not treating me like family.
Right? Well, it's funny you say that because in my situation, when it initially happened, I thought, okay, well, that's the end. Like, that was that. Okay. In my situation, how it all started, it was over, like, I would say, an 8-year period where
Mhm,
I really found out the truth.
mhm,
And initial shock of it all, uh, I stopped talking to my sister for a few years.
mhm,
But it's my one and only sister. And she
mhm,
had my one and only niece and nephew.
mhm, mhm,
And when I tell you what really was hard was being in those situations like Christmas, and
mm,
I there was parts where I wasn't around for my niece and nephew, and there were parts where I had to choose me, and I was
mm,
willing to choose me at all costs. And it
mm,
didn't matter who said what.
right.
The one thing that actually convinced me to start going towards forgiveness was my
Mhm,
mom. And
yes.
she only has, two girl children in this world, and
Mhm,
it was breaking her apart.
mm,
And I got to see it firsthand. And just like how that particular family member hurt me, I could see how my actions were hurting my mom.
right.
And so it wasn't like she said, you have to be this and you have to be that. She kind of understood how deeply I was cut. And so she knew it was going to take a long time for those wounds to heal. And she kind of allowed me to, but when the Christmas came up or the Easter or the birthdays, it was like, well, how are we going to do this? And it was a constant reminder, like how the logistics of it all, how is it going to work? And so it's not necessarily that she forced me, because I
Mm,
think she really saw, like, this is not a cut that you bounce back from.
mhm,
And I was so, I'm an Aries slash Taurus. So I'm a ram and a bull. So
mhm,
when I say I'm done,
mm,
it doesn't matter who you are.
right.
I'm done. And
Oh
my
yeah,
mom knows me like that,
I
right?
can
So
relate to that.
she knew that she had to step the hell back and let
Mm,
me just let that take its course.
mhm,
But I did see what kind of damage it did in that way,
mhm,
and I felt like, as a mother, at the time I wasn't a mother, but I could only imagine.
right.
And so it was really hard, and then I thought I was forgiving and moving on my own. And then there was another incident that kind of rehashed where I initially started from.
Mm,
And that was another hurtful situation that wasn't necessarily done to me, but
mhm,
it was done with my sister's children. And it
mhm,
was just like, yo, fam, like, you're just out here hurting people like it's going out of style. And I thought I had let go, and I thought I had forgave, and I thought I had done a lot of things. And it just took one small little situation that came up to rehash everything over again. And I went cold turkey after that,
mm,
like, for years, for a good 4 or 5 years, just no interaction at all, None.
Yeah.
And that wasn't easy either. It wasn't easy, but God has a way of putting people in your life, because when I was going through those times, I still needed a big sister.
Yeah.
And he put people in my life that were older than me,
Oh yes, I remember. Yep. Yes,
that were
sure. I know.
black, that were young black women just like me, but just a little bit older than me.
Mm,
And so those people came into my life not out of mistake. They were there for a purpose. And
mm,
they gave me that friendship of a sister that I
mm,
needed at the time. And so I was able to get through it. But then the second round, I was like, I was out here on my own. I was out here
mm,
on my own. And again, the family kind of understood.
mm,
My mom was kind of like, just we have to pray about it, and
mm.
and I'm always like, yeah, I know, been doing that, but no. Okay.
Mm,
And still no. So but they let me get through that, and I actually surprised them when
mm,
I was like, well, you know what, called her up and I said, just chalked it up with her and told her what was popping, and I was
mm.
pregnant, and we're trying to move forward. At least I was trying to move forward, and I
Yeah,
still
yeah,
am trying to move forward. And I'll be
yeah.
honest with you, it doesn't ever really go far away, but in the forefront of our family is the most important. Like, we need
And
to,
some people,
yeah.
some people say low, and I said they also say low contact. So there's no contact, and there's low contact.
Yes,
If low
exactly.
con, and it's probably low contact.
It is.
I think it sounds like that's what it is with
Yeah,
your
and it
situation,
works. And it
and it
works.
works. Yeah, because I think, and it will the wound the it won't really fully heal until, um I guess on her side, the acknowledgement of everything, which it doesn't sound like, it's gonna, it'd be a miracle, but you know
And
what I
I
mean.
don't
And that,
think that she'll ever really understand
no,
how
she
that
won't.
hurt. Like, I don't,
Mm,
because even in the midst of it, she had a very arrogant attitude, like, just get over it, just move on. And it was like, do you understand that I'm your little sister? Like, do you understand you destroyed a bond that we never really had? Because we're also 10 years apart.
right.
So our bond was very weak and very shaky to begin with. You know what I mean? Because I was always the little sister that she had to take care of,
You're
and
the
I was
baby sister. Yeah.
right, and so I was always the annoyance to her.
Hmm.
Until I started to get older, and when I was in my teenage years is when you hurt me the most. So when you're formulating who you are as a young lady is when you really damaged me. And I don't
Mm,
think that she really gets that. And I don't think that she'll ever really get that, because I would never
mm.
do that to her. And she
Yeah.
doesn't
So.
have any other sisters that she's really close with that would do that to her.
Mm,
You know what I mean? And so, but forgiveness is not for the other person, it is for you. And I
right.
really, truly believe that. So, all these people who are talking, about cutting people off, it's because right now you haven't forgave them,
Mm.
right? And maybe that will never come.
Yeah. Some things are unforgivable.
Sometimes, right?
Hmm.
But in order for you to heal, you got to forgive. And I've learned that firsthand. You might not, again, you can still forgive somebody and keep them at bay,
Mm,
right? Because you're not stupid. God doesn't want you to forget. When you see a snake in the grass, are you going to continue to walk in the same grass expecting the snake
hmm.
not to bite you? And it did before? Like, no. So I can forgive you for who you are and for what you've done. And it's not for you, it's for me,
Mm,
right? So that I can move on with my own life, right? Without this gnawing, because when you're in the midst of it, you'll never forget. This is your
mm.
family.
Yeah, it's always going to be constant
It's
because
always going to be in
people
the
are
back
going
of
to
your head.
asking. People who don't know. People will be asking about this and
I saw an
that.
interesting segment
Mm.
about this that she continued on with,
Okay.
and they were talking about so this man and woman, they got married. They're from different religious backgrounds. I think one is Muslim and one is Christian,
Okay.
and but the Christian one is very, like, their family's cultish
Okay.
Christians, like.
Yeah.
So when she decided that she wasn't going to go into that further with them, they disowned her. And when he
Mm.
decided that he was going to marry a Christian, because I think he was Muslim.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Muslim. And so, anyway, their family disowned them. right?
Mhm.
Now they have children.
Mm.
And so the question became, how do we cope with a grandparent-less family? Because now
Right.
we have children, and our children are going to wonder, where the hell is my grandparents? Like,
Right.
where's my grandma? Like, don't we have, where's your mom? Like, don't. And so they were saying that this is a conversation that you will eventually have to have, because they will wonder. When you lock off family, that doesn't mean they're just eliminated. They're still there. They still exist. They were still a
They
part of
exist somewhere.
your story. They're still a
Yeah.
part of your story. And so, one of the counselors, I guess, that she had on the program was saying,
Mhm.
that's something that you're going to have to address with those children at an age appropriate stage. You're going to have to
Right.
tell them exactly what happened, why you decided to go that route. And you also have to be open to, maybe one day they will still want to know those family members, even though
Mm.
you don't. So,
Mm.
we have to realize that with family, family is family. And that's, in the Black community, we're always told, you got to stick together as
Right.
family no matter what, blah 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 blah. No, that's a bunch of bullshit. If you need to step away from your family in order to keep yourself sane, in order for yourself to thrive and develop and to go forward with your life, then you need to do that. But where it is true is that they are not going to be your family.
Mm.
Just because you don't talk to them doesn't mean that you don't have a cousin.
Mm.
Just because you don't talk to her doesn't mean that you didn't have a mother, right?
Mm.
So you have to account for that later on in your life. Somebody might inquire. Your future fiance could inquire,
Oh,
like, how
right.
come your parents are not at the wedding? Like, how come they're not coming? How come I've never met your parents? Like, so you're gonna have to account for that. You're gonna have to be prepared for when
Mm.
everybody asks about it or wants to know more about it. And sometimes it might, hash up, wounds, open up new wounds or whatever. But you
Mm.
have to be prepared for that. So in the time that you're away from these people, you know, you need to do some serious work on yourself. And you need to come to terms with a lot of things, and you got to let go of a lot of things. And so that when the time comes, if the time ever does come, and people are inquiring, you're able to have this discussion with them and let them know where you are and where you stand. And in that situation I brought up with those children, you will have to tell them. You didn't
Mm.
just pop out of thin air. Your children are going to wonder, where the hell did you come from?
Mm.
So, but with all that said, you know what? Out here in these streets, girl,
Mhm.
as a Black person, we're always told what happens in the house stays in the house. That's not
Right.
true. That's a lie.
No.
We're always told, no matter who they are, that's family, your blood. You need to. No, that's a lie. You don't need to do any of it. There comes a point, and I said this to one of my coworkers the other day,
Mhm.
where you gotta choose. It's either you or me. It
Right.
it comes down to that. It literally comes down to that. I've walked through that question. And I had to choose me every time.
Mm.
Every time.
And you can't go wrong doing that.
You just can't. You just can't. And so, yeah, but that's all I gotta say about that. All in all, it's never easy. Cutting off family. This is a topic that I think we should explore as a society. I
Mm.
Even though Oprah's acting brand new, okay, it is a conversation that should be had. And I think
Mm.
we all need to understand that it shouldn't be just one type of person. It's about mental health. And that's
Yeah.
one thing that I'm glad in the last decade that has been a new discussion is mental health.
Mm.
I think we've always kind of known about it, but I think in the last decade or so, it's really pushed
It's at
forward,
the forefront of a lot of people's
right?
minds, and yeah.
And it is important. It is
And
mental
we get a
health
lot of
is
support now. There's more resources at work.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think the only thing I was going to say, and again, thank you for sharing your story and everything.
No problem.
Um, it's it's the trend and what people are saying is, and I'll end off with this, is like, anybody who makes this decision, if they're listening and hearing your story, they should be,
Mm-hmm.
it's not done as a trend. It's not
Nope.
trying to get attention.
At
You're
all.
not doing it to throw a fit. It's a last resort.
Yeah.
It's not a choice that's made lightly. And I think that's why I felt like that was a dichotomy of like seeing the clip. Maybe it was whoever edited, but it was
Yeah, I
like,
know.
this is not for funsies.
No, big mouth open. No, it's not. This
So
is
that,
a. It's
and
hard. It's a,
right.
and it's something you have. Okay, sorry, just to cut you, and I just want to put
Mm,
you into what
yeah.
one thing into what you said. It's different when you cut off a friend, because
Yes,
that
different.
friend could go about their business, live their life. You don't have to.
Yeah.
But when you have to sit across the Thanksgiving table,
Woo.
let's just put that there. When you need to sit across that Thanksgiving table, right, it's a whole different ball game. So, family, this is why this is a good conversation to have.
Mm,
Oprah, this is not brand new. This has been happening for years. You've been doing it for how donkey ass years. You put it on your show and everything, okay?
mhm.
So I don't know where you're going with that, but I'm glad you brought the conversation up, because I think now more and more people are cutting off family for
Yeah.
whatever the reasons are. A lot of the reasons nowadays is political.
Mm,
People are cutting off family for political reasons, and so I can see why it's remerging in,
mm,
as a conversation. But it's always been there. But it is a conversation we should have about family, because family is hard.
yeah.
Friends, not so much. I've cut off a
Mm,
lot of friends in my life.
mhm,
I,
mhm.
I, I've just went MIA. A lot of them still don't know where I am. Okay, they still have no idea. But family is a whole different ballgame, and so it is hard, but
Mm,
you can get through it. I didn't have a lot of help. I kind of I'm stubborn like that.
mhm.
Like, I'm stubborn like that. When if I'm like, forget this, then I'll that's exactly what I'll do. Is I'll just forget that and move
Yeah.
on. Um, but then I became a mom, and things kind of changed. My
Mm,
mind was softened, my heart was softened, and looked at things a little differently. And whoever out there is considering cutting off your family, ask yourself this: either you or them. It's either
that's
you or
it.
them. So if you answer that question, you're going to choose yourself every time, then there's the answer. You need to cut that person off.
There you go.
And it's okay. And it's okay. Ask, if you're a spiritual person, if you're a religious person, whatever, ask God to help you. Ask that down in the future, that you will be able to meet with that person, or you will be able to forgive that person, or you will one day be able to have low to no or low contact, or whatever they want to call it.
Mm,
But at the very most, ask for peace, because
right.
that's what you're doing it for.
Yeah.
And don't let nobody sway you, because that's the other part, is that people will try to sway you. Oh, well, you should let that go, and that was so long ago, and oh, I heard all of it, and I said,
Mm,
and that was
mm.
my response, steady, and I I didn't give a I didn't give a shit. I was like, and what's your point? Get to it, But either way, we do hope that your hearts and minds were activated on this week's show. So whether you lead with your heart or your mind, please stay passionate and thoughtful, and choose you every time.
Bye.